Hello and welcome to Brightsmith's Women in Mobility series. Today I'm joined by Dana Taylor. She is the digital and customer lead for Zoom EV. She's based in Leeds and is actually new to Zoom and new to the industry. So welcome, Dana.
Thanks so much.
And I guess a nice way to start, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you've been doing, but also who Zoom EV are, and what it is that you're working on there.
Sure. So, as you say, I'm living in Leeds. I've actually just returned from living in Australia. So a bit sad about that. But my background's mostly in digital products. So everything from like strategy through to design and delivery of kind of web and apps. And prior to that, I was a consultant looking at kind of business process and customer experience. So I joined Zoom only about a month ago, and Zoom EV basically helps customers get into EVs. So they offer a service where you kind of get advice on what EV to get into, and then we offer a bundle of benefits to a customer that makes it like cheaper and saves them time. So everything they need from car charging to car parking, getting them discounts on those services. And we also have a car sharing platform where people can rent and borrow EVs basically whenever they want to and use them flexibly.
Amazing. And what was it that attracted you to work in mobility or clean tech?
Yeah, to be honest, I was just looking for a change. I had worked in corporates for a while and I just really wanted to work for a purpose-led business. So something innovative in the green space. So I was kind of interested in waste management, circular economy, and reducing carbon emissions. And obviously Zoom EV is massively tackling carbon emissions just through the type of business it is. But they're really passionate about the environment, and they're also giving like a cut of their profits to any initiatives that basically support like getting rid of plastics or dealing with the issue of plastic. So it seemed a really great fit for me.
Oh, I actually didn't know that last bit, so thank you for sharing. And we chatted about this when we very first met. And one of the sort of big things we discussed was about when you moved back, how you went about your job search, and actually the lack of diversity in the industry, and why we need more of that. So let's sort of have a chat about why we need more diversity, and particularly in this case, and based on the topic of the video, why we need more women in mobility.
Yeah, so I guess I've always largely worked in quite male-dominated industries. And I think we need more women, not just in mobility, but also in tech and digital. I think we have a really strong skill set that can be applied there, you know, like really bringing together teams and kind of the creative as well as the delivery focused angle, particularly in digital. But I think the most important part is just seeing women go for roles and go into industries that they typically haven't been part of, and not being afraid to step into something totally new. I think maybe we've all been guilty sometimes of going for things that we know how to do and we think we're from this background, so we should stay in it. But actually, our skills can be applied across multiple industries, and it's sometimes refreshing to have a woman in an industry that typically hasn't got many. And I think given that mobility is changing so much, particularly with EVs, actually like it doesn't have that legacy of stereotypes in a sense. So whilst I guess automotive might, energy and kind of sustainability is a very fresh area, and I think it's an area that women will care about and be really strong in.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think to echo what we chatted about the first time we spoke, we both joined this industry this year and found it both very welcoming and supportive by both men and women. So I think that's another reason for women to come and join the party.
Definitely.
And I know you're only a month in, so obviously it's yeah, an interesting question to ask you what you're loving about the industry so far, but perhaps the best time because you're, you know, so fresh into it. Why is it you love it? And then also not just the industry, but Zoom and kind of what's going on there at the moment with the crowdfunding. What's the best bits?
Yeah, I think what's exciting about EVs and kind of this industry is that it is new, it's constantly changing. You've got to be prepared to pivot and like take advantage of opportunities that arise, even if that means kind of tweaking your business or the direction you thought you were headed in. And I think it's really encouraging seeing startups and smaller, kind of more agile companies rising through the ranks and being more responsive to addressing things like climate change that bigger organizations either haven't been able to do or have been slower to do. So there's a lot of innovation and technology coming through in this area, which is kind of the most exciting thing I think about the industry. I guess from a Zoom perspective, I keep going back to like their kind of mission and vision because Greg, the founder, we share all the same values, despite, well, also being brother and sister. We kind of, he was living in Oman, I was living in Australia, and we both came back and we have a very clear set of values that we both agree on. But, you know, like I think his love of A, wanting to do the right thing for the environment, but B, also taking like a really customer friendly approach where he's listen to what customers need and how thinks about how we can get people into EVs more easily. And I think that's really the strength of the company.
Yeah, that's I think it always feels great when you're working with people that have the same values and the same kind of purpose. It makes life much more straightforward. And again, I feel like this is a tricky one to throw at you a month in, but what do you feel are the exciting opportunities that lie ahead for Zoom EV and for the industry?
Yes, I guess for Zoom, on a personal level, like I'm really excited to take forward the digital experience, you know, like really fully owning that digital and customer experience is a great opportunity for me. And I think from a Zoom and the industry point of view, you know, Zoom is bringing together kind of mobility and EVs and the sharing economy to massive growth areas and kind of finding that sweet spot and making it easy to share EVs. So, and you know, we're seeing a lot of interest from dealerships coming in, wanting to kind of use our platform and our capabilities. And as a small startup, that's really exciting, having these really big firms kind of going, yeah, you're doing something innovative and special, and we want to be part of it. So I can see it's just going to go from strength to strength.
Ah, it's a nice story. No, I think having spoken to a few people there, it seems like everybody's on that journey together, and there's a lot going on. And actually, you're managing a huge amount with quite a small team and having a big impact in the market. So it's pretty impressive. And that leads us to the very last question, which is advice for other people wanting to make the leap into mobility or clean tech or tech generally. Having just done that, and at what is probably quite a tricky time, what would be your advice or your top tips to those people that are looking to make that move or sort of contemplating it?
Yeah, do it. No, my advice is to like use your time efficiently to do what you love. You know, like I have spent so much time just researching and reading and like watching documentaries because I'm passionate about it and I care about it. And the more I learn, the more I can share with other people. And like when you know, go and get in touch with people then in the industry or the network, like they really respond to you because you actually know what you're talking about in that area. So I think, you know, grow that passion, speak to people, connect with people any way that you can. Like literally I've reached out to so many people I'd never have thought of and they've all been responsive. So I think really be brave and take a bit of a leap of faith and just make it happen, because if you don't, then no one else will.
Oh, great advice. And also the very fact that you're putting your hand up to do this a month in is probably taking your own advice of jumping in.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you for being a part of the series, for sharing your insights into the industry so far. Maybe we should do a follow-up in 6 months and see how things have changed. But yeah, it's been great chatting to you and getting to know you. So thank you for joining us, and good luck with your the rest of your career with Zoom EV.
Thanks so much. Speak to you soon.
Take care. Thank you.